Students, in this video I am going to start KKT conditions, which is nothing but a classical optimization technique for NLPP with inequality constraints. In previous videos, when we have discussed about the Lagrangian method, then we have taken classical optimization technique for NLP with equality constraint. Here is the inequality. यहाँ inequality है, वहाँ equality था. Fine. So to solve this inequality NLPP with inequality constraints with the help of classical optimization technique, we are having basically method based upon Karush-Kuhn-Tucker condition, which is in short known as KKT conditions. Fine. So here let us consider the problem. Problem is say minimization f of x subjected to the constraint gj x is less than equal to 0, where j is from 1 to m. That means we are having m number of inequality constraints of the type less than 0. X is a vector of n tuple x1 x2 xn belongs to Rn in nth space. Fine, in n dimensional. So here after introducing m positive slack variables, because this is less than type, so first we will convert this inequality into equality by adding some slack variables. So here we will add positive slack variables. So in place of Sj, we are writing Sj square. Because if we are writing Sj here, because what is our purpose? Our purpose is to write down this Gjx less than equals to 0. So if we are writing Gjx plus add some slack variable, this is equals to 0. This is slack variable. So now we are having this. But here we have to impose a condition such that Sj is greater than equals to 0. Fine. So now we are avoiding this condition. We are not interested in this because we are already having number of conditions. If we impose these conditions also, because what is j? J is from 1 to m. So basically we have to take s1, s2, sm greater than equals to 0. That means m extra conditions. So we are not interested in this. So that's why we have to take square. So if Sj is positive or negative, then still this quantity will be positive, and so there is no need to take these extra additional conditions. So to avoid these conditions we are taking square. Fine. तो स्क्वायर लिखने से ना हमें पॉजिटिव की ज़रूरत है ना निगेटिव की. इफ पॉजिटिव एंड निगेटिव देन स्टिल दिस क्वांटिटी विल बी पॉजिटिव एंड देन this will be valid. So there is no need to take extra condition. That's why we have taken square, and the logic is written here. Fine. So now what will be the Lagrangian now? So now we are having objective function with these equality constraints. So now we can use Lagrangian method. So the Lagrangian function will be now this x1 L will be the Lagrangian function of the variable x1, x2, xn, because the problem is in n dimension. Then these slack variables s1, s2, sm, and then Lagrangian L, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda m. These are the Lagrangian multipliers. Fine. So this is equals to objective function plus lambda j and the constraint. Constraint is now this equality constraint. So gj plus sj whole square. And since they are in m number of, these constraints are m numbers, so that's why summation from j equal to 1 to m. Fine. So f of x plus lambda 1 first constraint plus lambda 2 second constraint. In short, this is summation j from 1 to m lambda j gjx plus sj whole square. Fine. So now where lambda j are Lagrange multipliers and measures the rate of change of f with respect to g. We already aware about the geometrical meaning of lambda j. So lambda j basically measures the rate of change of objective function with respect to g. Fine. So since we are talking about lambda j, so here should be lambda j. This should be lambda gj. G. So that's why we can say that lambda j is nothing but lambda f divided by this del f divided by del gj. Partially differential of f with respect to gj for all j. This is the meaning. Now, the necessary conditions. The necessary conditions are what? Partially differentiate L with respect to the main variables x1, x2, xn. This is written here. Del L by del xi is equal to 0. Here I varies from 1 to n. So when you partially differentiate this with respect to x, so we will get del f by del xi plus summation lambda j, and this is a constant, so this will be 0. So only partial derivative will occur for this term lambda j and partial derivative of gj with respect to xi. Here is j, here is I. J varies from 1 to m and I varies from 1 to n. Fine, this is equation number 2. Next is with respect to lambda. With respect to lambda, so del L by del lambda j, they are in m numbers which is referred by j. So that's why lambda j. So gjx plus sj whole square equal to 0. If you partially differentiate this quantity, this function with respect to lambda j, so we get this. So this is equal to 0 where j varies from 1 to m. Now the third variable is s. So del L by del sj is equal to 0. They are also in m numbers. That's why this is equal to 0. So from here, if you partially differentiate this with respect to sj, so we get 2 lambda j sj. 2 lambda j sj is equal to 0 where j is from 1 to m. So we are having three types of equations. With respect to del L by del xi is equal to 0, we get this type of equation. Del L by del lambda j equal to 0, so we get this type of equations, and del L by del sj equal to 0, so we get this type of equation. Now equation number 2 is known as optimality conditions. Equation 3 type of equation. Equation number 3 type is known as condition of feasibility, and last type, fourth type of equation is known as complementary slackness condition. So this is optimality condition, this is feasibility condition, and this is complementary slackness condition. Fine. So this is 3 type of equations. Now this is necessary condition. Remember, this is necessary condition. This is not sufficient. This is necessary only. Fine. Now we will consider the last type of condition, that means complementary slackness. Lambda j sj is equal to 0. If this is so, then we are having two cases: when sj is non-zero, when lambda j is non-zero. When sj is non-zero, that means lambda j is 0. जब ये क्वांटिटी नॉन जीरो होगी तो ऑब्वियसली लैम्डा j will be 0, and this is non-zero, that means sj square is positive. जब इसको स्क्वायर करेंगे तो एक क्वांटिटी पॉजिटिव में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगी. फाइन. सिमिलरली व्हेन लैम्डा j is non-zero, that means sj is 0. Now we will consider both these cases. Now first case, when lambda j is 0 and sj square is positive, this case. So what will happen? Let x star be the local minima. Satisfies 3. 3 means this condition. कोई पॉइंट है जो इसको सेटिस्फाई करेगा, थर्ड इक्वेशन को, तीनों को सेटिस्फाई करेगा तभी तो आएगा मिनिमा. फाइन. सो दिस वॉट एवर वी विल extracted from here, that will also satisfy this. So from here, now we are taking this second type of equation. This is so. So here x star is the local minima which satisfies 3. So we get this gj x star plus sj square is equal to 0. But according to this case, sj square is positive. So since this is positive quantity and their sum is equal to 0, so obviously this quantity should be negative. ये negative होना चाहिए less than equal to 0, because this is positive. So that's why this quantity is less than equal to 0. And whenever we are having this type of condition, this is known as inactive constraints. So this type of constraints is known as inactive constraints. Why? Because we have already aware about the active and inactive. Constraints are of two types, active and inactive. When constraints is not exactly satisfied, this is not exactly satisfied, this is less than type. If exactly satisfied, then this should be equal to 0, but this is less than type, that's why it's inactive. Fine. Now the case 2, when lambda j is non-zero, so sj will be 0. So according to this, if you put sj equal to 0 here, so we will get as gj x star is equal to 0, which is at the point x star. X star is local minima point. So this is exactly satisfied, this constraint is exactly satisfied, that's why this is known as active constraint. This is inactive because this is less than type, this is exactly satisfied, that's why active constraint. तो वो कंस्ट्रेंट जो एग्जैक्टली सेटिस्फाई हो जाते हैं वो कहलाते हैं एक्टिव कंस्ट्रेंट, जो एग्जैक्टली सेटिस्फाई नहीं होते वो कहलाते हैं इनएक्टिव कंस्ट्रेंट्स. फाइन. सो अमंग ऑल द इनइक्वालिटी कंस्ट्रेंट्स associated with NLPP, some are active and some are inactive. So aim is to identify these constraints and find optimum solution. तो पहले उनको bifurcate करना, active and inactive, and then try to find out the solution. This is the strategy during this KKT condition. Fine. Now to understand the concept, let us take n is equal to 2. That means number of variables x1 and x2. M is equal to 3. That means number of constraints g1, g2 and g3. M is 3. So we have 3 constraints and 2 variables. Problem. So this is the problem. Minimum of f of x objective function subjected to 3 constraints because m is 3. So g1x, g2x, g3x less than type. So less than equal to 0, less than equal to 0, less than equal to 0. Suppose among these 3 we have bifurcated based on this conclusion that first 2, because we want to find out the condition. So suppose these two g1 and g2 they are active constraints, however g3 is inactive constraint. Fine. So these are two active and this is inactive constraint. हमने मान लिया कि ये active है, ये inactive है, because our interest is to find out the condition. वो condition find out करना so that we can say that particular constraint is active and particular another constraint is inactive. Fine. So here we have assumed and now try to find out the condition. Fine. So now since g3 is inactive constraints, so the optimum solution lies on g1 and g2, but because they are active they are fully satisfied by the solution, but solution will not satisfy g3, that's why this is inactive. Solution इसको satisfy नहीं करेगा fully, इसलिए ये inactive है, ये active है, इसलिए इनको satisfy करेगा. That's why the optimum solution lies on the g1 and g2, but it will not lie on g3. Fine. This is due to the active and inactive constraint definition. Now, so what will be the Lagrangian of this function, this problem? L is objective function plus lambda 1 first constraint, lambda 2 second constraint, lambda 3 g3x. Fine. So here we have not added slack and surplus variable. We have not added this. Fine. So this is Lagrangian function. Now, since, so this is the problem. This is the problem. What is the problem? We have 3 constraints. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. This is our g1 x equals to 0, this constraint boundary. This is the second one, this is g2x is equals to 0 boundary, and this third one is g3x. This is g3x is equals to 0. So this is the domain bounded by these 3. This is the domain bounded by these 3. Fine. Now here, since solution is satisfied by g1 and g2, so this is our actually our solution. So this is our objective function. Suppose objective function is increasing in this direction. So this is the direction f increases. This is the direction f decreases. Okay, in this direction f increases, so that's why this is gradient of f. This is minus gradient of f. Decreasing direction represented by minus gradient of f, increasing direction is represented by positive this gradient f of f. This is shown here. This is our point x star, optimum point. Fine. Now this is g1, so this is the tangential direction. ये इसका tangent होगा and normal will be perpendicular to this. So this will be the gradient of g1x. ये tangent, this is the perpendicular. So this is the normal. Similarly, this is g2. So this will be the tangential direction and perpendicular to this here somewhere we have g2. Fine. This is g1, this is g2. This is g1, this is g2. Gradient g2, gradient g1x. Fine. So now here this is shown here. Gradient, they represent normal direction. Fine. So now since g3 is inactive constraint, we have already assumed here, we have already assumed this is inactive. This is inactive, this is active. So this is inactive constraint. So for inactive constraint, what we have taken, lambda j will be 0. For active constraint, lambda j is non-zero. This is the meaning. अगर inactive है तो 0 होगा lambda, और अगर active है तो non-zero होगा. So since g3 is inactive, so obviously lambda 3 will be 0. So here lambda 3 is 0. So what is your Lagrangian? Lagrangian will be f of x plus lambda 1 g1x plus lambda 2 g2x. Fine. So now the necessary condition is del L by del xi is equal to 0 corresponding to x. Partially differentiate this with respect to xi, so we get this. So del f by del xi is equal plus lambda I del g1 del xi plus del lambda 2 del g2 by del xi is equal to 0. And since we have taken I number of variables 2, that's why I is 1 and 2. क्योंकि दो ही वेरिएबल की प्रॉब्लम हमने चूज की है, so x1 and x2, so I is 1 and 2. When you put I is equal to 1 and 2, this can be written in terms of gradient of f. This can be written as gradient of g1 plus this can be written as gradient of g2. जब दोनों पुट करेंगे तो this will become a vector. This is gradient of f. Fine. Now you can take this in the left hand side and this in the right hand side, so we get this minus gradient of f is equal to lambda 1 g1 plus lambda 2 gradient of g2. So this is a vector quantity, this is also a vector quantity, this is also a vector quantity. So we can say that this vector is basically the linear combination of this and this, because they are two scalar quantities, lambda 1 and lambda 2. So minus gradient f is a linear combination of gradient of g1 and gradient of g2 and can be seen in figure. This you will see that minus gradient f, this is in the space, this is in the cone. If you will see here, this minus gradient f is in the plane formed by this is in the cone formed by gradient of g1 and gradient of g2. That's why this is the condition. Fine. So this is the condition. Now pre-multiply by, because here we have not taken, if you remember, here we have not taken sj square, s1 square, s2 square, s3 square. So now to compensate this, we will pre-multiply both sides by s transpose, representing feasible direction, which will be discussed later. What is the meaning of feasible direction? We will discuss it later on. So when you multiply this, so what you will get, minus s transpose gradient of f is equal to lambda 1 s transpose gradient of g1 plus lambda 2 s transpose lambda g2. Fine. So now we will try to discuss this feasible direction. What is feasible direction? हमने इसमें S ट्रांसपोज से प्री मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया, सो वी गेट दिस इक्वेशन. नाउ व्हाट इज फिजिबल डायरेक्शन? टू डिस्कस और टू डिफाइन दिस वी हैव टू डेफिनेशंस. पहले हम इनको डिफाइन करेंगे. One is regular point, another definition is feasible point, and based on this we will define feasible direction. So what is regular point? X cap is regular point in the feasible space. This is the feasible space. So X cap is a regular point in the feasible space if gradient of Gj X cap are linearly independent. That means this, they are linearly independent vectors. If they are linearly independent vectors at the point X cap, then we will say that X cap is basically a regular point. Fine? समझ में आया? ये भी वेक्टर है, ये भी वेक्टर है, दोनों linearly independent अगर होंगे at point X cap पे, then X cap is known as linearly independent vectors and X cap is known as regular point. Fine? Now the feasible point. Feasible point is what? Here this is in this feasible space, here this is X cap, that means regular point. Now from X cap we can move in any direction, either here, 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 here. Suppose we are moving in this direction, तो हम यहाँ से कितना जा सकते हैं? हम इस डायरेक्शन में कितना जा सकते हैं कि हमारा फिजिबल स्पेस हमसे ना छूटे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हियर this is type of structure is there, X cap. So we can move from, for example, in this direction. So we can start from here, we can move here, 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 here. So we can move up to here. After this point will be infeasible. So we can move up to here. So this is basically denoted by X cap, this point, plus this direction and step size. So alpha and S. Alpha represents the step size and S represents the direction. Because either we can move here, 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 so direction is also important. So in this direction, S direction, we are moving alpha, we are taking step size alpha, and then we will reach to this point. Fine. So step size or direction both are important, so they are included here. So that's why now feasible point, X cap is feasible point, this point is feasible if we move to another point X cap plus alpha S, where alpha is very small amount and S is the direction, such that क्योंकि इस पूरे feasible space में what is the condition? Condition is that GJX will be less than equal to 0. यही तो हमारी conditions थी. If you remember, this is our condition. तो कोई भी point इसको नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए. Fine. So that's why GJX cap plus alpha S should be less than 0. अगर ये greater हो गया तो ये infeasible हो जाएगा, ये यहाँ पहुँच जाएगा. So this should be negative. When you expand this, what you will get? For example, if you take G1 X cap plus alpha S is less than 0. Here we are taking J is equal to 1. So now expand this with the help of Taylor series. So this is the step size. Fine, just like H. So if you expand this, what you will get? You will get G1 X cap plus alpha S and partial derivative of G1 X cap with respect to the variable is suppose J Xj, this. Fine, plus and so on. So we are not moving in this way, so we are taking only this first step size. Fine. So here this quantity is negative already because G1x, this is obviously a feasible point, so this is negative. This should also be negative because total sum is negative, so this is also negative. So that's why when you expand this, so we will get the condition S gradient of G1 x cap divided by del xj. This is negative. ये भी निगेटिव होगा, ये भी निगेटिव होगा, तभी तो सब निगेटिव होगा. Fine. So when you expand this and put j is equal to 1 to 3, j is equal to 1 2 3, so in rather than writing this, we are writing S transpose gradient of Gj x cap in vector form. This is not in vector form, this is in vector form. So here S transpose gradient of Gj x cap is less than 0. This is the vector form. So we are expanding this with the help of Taylor series and we get this. S transpose gradient of Gj x cap is less than 0. Then this S is basically the feasible direction. ये जो S है, this is actually the feasible direction. And this is the meaning of this. S is this direction. Fine. So this is the definition of feasible direction. Feasible direction means S transpose gradient of Gj x cap should be less than 0. X cap is basically the origin point and S is this direction. We are taking the step size alpha. Alpha is always be a positive value. Is a very small amount. Alpha is very small amount and positive step size. तो ये तो positive होगा ही होगा. So that's why this product should be negative. Fine. So here, so now we are not discussing this part, we are starting this. So S transpose gradient of Gj x star is negative. What is this? This is the product of dot product of two vector quantities, and we know that what is the dot product. If A is a vector, B is a vector, their dot product is given by magnitude of A, magnitude of B cos theta. So since this is vector, their dot product is less than 0. So obviously that means this cos theta, this angle will be nothing but obtuse angle. क्योंकि इन दोनों का जो प्रोडक्ट है वो लेस देन 0 है. दैट मीन्स मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ A इंटू मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ B इज cos थीटा इज. सो दैट मीन्स व्हाट? मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ S, this, that means S transpose Gj x cap is less than 0. This implies magnitude of S, magnitude of Gj x cap cos theta is less than 0. This is the dot product. This is the meaning. So since this is positive value, this is positive value, so obviously cos theta is an obtuse angle. Theta is obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. Obtuse angle means theta is laying in between 90 degree and 180 degree. Fine. So this implies, because here we are not writing j equal to 1 and 2, so S transpose with gradient G1 also less than 0 and S transpose gradient of G2 is also 0. So this implies this quantity, this implies this S transpose G1 x cap is less than 0 and S transpose G2 x cap will be 0. They are obtuse angle, that's why. So this implies, if you will see this equation, if this quantity is negative, because this is so, this is negative, this is negative, this is negative, then obviously, and lambda 1 and lambda 2 both are positive values, so they are negative values. Fine. So ये positive है, ये quantity हमारी negative है, ये negative है, तो ultimately this is negative. और suppose we are not saying that कि ये positive है, this is negative, but ultimately this sum is negative quantity. This fine. So here is this is writing. We are writing this. So since this is obtuse angle, so S transpose gradient of F will be positive value, because this quantity is negative, this is negative. So this is only possible when this quantity will be positive and lambda 1 and lambda 2 both are positive. ये दोनों पॉजिटिव हो और ये निगेटिव हो, तब ये इनइक्वालिटी पॉसिबल है. फाइन, दिस इज द मीनिंग. So here is the meaning, and graphically you will see, graphically you can see what is the meaning of S. This is the feasible direction. So S is suppose this direction, this is your S, feasible direction S, ये हमारी feasible direction है. So you will see the angle between G1 and this is more than 90 obtuse. This angle is also more than 90, greater than 90 degree. This is also greater than 90 degree. Now you will see that the angle between gradient F and S, this is acute. Acute, that means less than 90 degree. So in between here, the angle between this and this, theta is in between 0 and 90 degree, and hence we can say that S transpose gradient of F will be positive. This, so the angle between these two, S and gradient of F, will be acute according to graph. Fine. And since this is positive, so according to this condition, this equation here, this quantity is positive, this quantity is negative, this is negative. So this is only valid when lambda and lambda 2 both are positive. अगर ये negative हो गए तो possibility नहीं है, तो ये भी positive होने चाहिए, तभी ये हमारी condition hold होगी. Fine. So that's why we can say that this S transpose gradient of G1 is negative according to this, gradient S transpose gradient of G2 is negative according to this, because we have substituted J is equal to 1 and 2. So this will be valid along with this only when lambda 1 and lambda 2 both are positive. ये negative होंगे और ये positive होगा तब जब lambda 1 and lambda 2 both are positive. Fine. So this is the non-negativity condition. This is the non-negativity condition. So we can say that if these are active constraint, this is inactive constraint. So for active constraint, lambda 1 and lambda 2 both are positive. For inactive constraint, lambda 3 will be 0. Because what is our conclusion? If you will see initially here, for inactive constraint, lambda j is 0. For active constraint, this is non-zero. So here either positive or negative. According to this should be positive. ये positive होना चाहिए, ना कि negative. Fine. So this is the conclusion. So now the necessary condition is that, necessary condition, that means KKT condition is minimum of F for this type of constraint is that optimality condition gives this del F by del Xi plus lambda j del Gj del Xi is equal to 0. Feasibility condition is Gjx is less than 0. And complementary slackness condition is this, lambda j Gjx equal to 0. If you remember, what is our initial complementary slackness condition क्या थी? Lambda j Sj is equal to 0. Just multiply by Sj here. So we get lambda j Sj whole square is equal to 0. क्योंकि इधर प्रोडक्ट करेंगे तो 0 हो जाएगा. But Sj square is what? Because we have the constraint. If you remember, we have Gjx plus Sj whole square is equal to 0. So Sj whole square is minus Gjx. So complementary condition थी हमारी ये. This will be, can be written as lambda j Sj whole square is equal to 0. But Sj whole square is nothing minus. So minus lambda j Gjx is equal to 0. That's why lambda j Gjx will be 0. So either you can write this or this, both are equivalent. So that's why we are writing this, lambda j Gjx is equal to 0. तो ये और ये दोनों सेम है. And non-negativity condition we have extracted here, so this is written here, lambda j is equal to greater than. So these four conditions basically known as Karush-Kuhn-Tucker condition, in short KKT conditions. Fine. So this is the meaning. And now we are trying to discuss the sufficient condition, and we will discuss this here. So for minimization problem, for sufficient condition, for minimization problem, the KKT conditions are sufficient condition if fx is convex and feasible space is convex. KKT condition sufficient यानी ये जो necessary conditions हैं sufficient हो जाएगी कब? when fx is convex हो और feasible space भी convex हो. Fine, both will be convex. And hint of the proof is this. This is our Lagrangian function. So if x star is relative minima, तो अगर ये relative minima होगा तो according to the Hessian this should be del 2l, ये positive definite होना चाहिए तभी ये minima होता है, आपको पता है. So this is minima means del 2f plus summation lambda j del 2 gj, because this is constant, partial differentiate करिए 0 हो जाएगा. So del 2 gj, this positive definite होना चाहिए. And according to non negativity condition lambda j is greater than equal to 0. So ये भी पॉजिटिव, ये पूरा पॉजिटिव डेफिनेट कब होगा? जब ये पॉजिटिव डेफिनेट हो और ये भी पॉजिटिव डेफिनेट हो, क्योंकि लैम्डा जे तो पॉजिटिव है ही है. सो दिस एंड दिस इज पॉजिटिव डेफिनेट मीन्स एफ इज कॉन्वेक्स. दिस इज पॉजिटिव डेफिनेट मीन्स फिजिबल स्पेस इज कॉन्वेक्स. फाइन, ये पॉजिटिव डेफिनेट होंगे, इनका फिजिबल स्पेस भी पॉजिटिव डेफिनेट होगा, यानी कि फिजिबल स्पेस कॉन्वेक्स होगा. फाइन, this is the necessary condition. Similarly we have the sufficient condition for the maximization problem. KKT conditions are sufficient condition if fx is convex, concave and feasible space is convex. तो feasible space तो convex ही रहेगा, चाहे प्रॉब्लम मैक्सिमा हो या मिनिमा, फंक्शन चेंज हो जाएगा. फॉर मैक्सिमाइजेशन प्रॉब्लम ये कॉन्केव होना चाहिए. फॉर मिनिमाइजेशन this f of x should be convex. Fine. So we are summarizing this sufficient condition here. Problem is maximization. Here is the objective function, here is the solution space. For maximization problem objective function कैसा होना चाहिए? Concave and solution space convex. For minimization problem objective function कैसा होना चाहिए? Convex, solution space convex. So they are convex, however here is concave, convex. This is the difference. I think you understand. And the same logic is written here, you can see. So now we can summarize the condition. So we are having, these are the necessary conditions, KKT conditions, and these are the sufficient conditions. Fine. Now if we add equality constraint also, more general, so minimum of f of x subjected to this less than equal to 0 and constraint is equality type. हमने equality type भी इसमें ऐड कर दिया, पहले less than था, अब हमने equality भी ऐड कर दिया. So suppose we are having inequality total m number of constraint, equality type का constraint is L 1 to L. So ये L type है, ये L equations हैं जो कि equality types हैं. inequality हमारे पास m है, तो टोटल हो गए m plus L. हमने इसको जनरलाइज कर दिया. फाइन. सो दिस विल बी द लैग्रांजियन फंक्शन. L is objective function plus lambda j gj x plus sj whole square plus this is already equality, so there is no need to add any slack variable. So simply lambda k dash hk x. Here j varies from 1 to m, here k varies from 1 to L, because these are total L, these are total m. Fine. So now the optimality condition क्या हो जाएगी तब? del f by del xi plus x के रेस्पेक्ट में आप पार्शियली डिफरेंशिएट कर दो L को. So this is the equation. del f by del xi plus summation lambda j gjx plus lambda del xi plus summation lambda k dash del hkx divided by del xi. I varies from 1 to 1. These are total n number of equations. These are optimality condition. Now feasibility condition, gjx is less than equal to 0 and hkx is equal to 0, where j is 1 to m and k is from 1 to L. Complementary slackness condition is lambda j gjx is equal to 0, j varies from 1 to n, and non-negativity conditions lambda j equal to 0 where j from 1 to m, ये inequality वालों के लिए है, and lambda k dash are unrestricted in sign, this is remember, ये इक्वालिटी के लिए है, अगर इक्वालिटी वाले होंगे उनके लिए अनरिस्ट्रिक्टेड, फॉर दिस इनके लिए अनरिस्ट्रिक्टेड, फाइन, पॉजिटिव भी हो सकता है नेगेटिव भी हो सकता है, दोनों चलेंगे, फाइन. So this is KKT conditions. Now we will take examples in the next class. Fine. Thank you.